Hello, and welcome to the Resume Ready podcast. My name is Brian Schneider, and one of the tools I've created to help people write stronger resumes is a free 2-part infographic called Resume Ready, the links to which can be found in the show notes. The first infographic presents a framework for resume writing, and the second infographic is more detailed and provides guidance regarding specific resume sections. Today's episode focuses on the third concept of the Resume Ready Part 1 infographic and is called Tips and Tricks. First, though, I want to tell you that today's episode is sponsored by my friends at Bradley Garrett Salon on Brookhaven Circle. You know by now that getting my hair cut is one of my all-time favorite things to do. When I'm at the salon, I feel relaxed, comfortable, and they do a great job of making me feel special. It's an excellent form of self-care, which I promise will boost your self-esteem and help you feel refreshed and restored. And as luck would have it, tomorrow I'm getting my hair cut. Like I've said in the past, I highly recommend Bradley Garrett Salon on Brookhaven Circle. Now on to the podcast. Tips and tricks. The first tip I'm going to discuss is messaging. The message your resume needs to communicate to the reader should be one of value. Each section of your resume should be written in a manner which says to the reader, quote, "Here's what you're going to get by investing in me," end quote. Take the time to consider the value of each and every word from the different sections and focus on crafting the right message. The second tip I want to share is regarding the font you choose for your resume. Based on my experience and articles I've read by recruiters and HR professionals, I always recommend 11 or 12 point Calibri style font for the body of your resume. For your contact information, your name can be 14 or 16 point font. The easier your resume is for the reader to quickly take in the information on your resume, the better. The only caveat to this rule of thumb might be if you're pursuing a position in a creative industry, such as the graphic arts or fashion merchandising. In those instances, you still want your resume to be easy to read. However, you could consider a font which reflects more creativity supporting the position you're pursuing. However, 99% of the time, I recommend Calibri 11 or 12 point font. The last tip I'd like to discuss in today's episode is the length of your resume. The historical standard is 1 page, and obviously, the need for brevity and the short time spent reading it drives this standard. It's also the most common length and with what employers are very comfortable. However, if you've been out of school over 10 years or you've had over 5 major jobs since college, your resume will likely extend onto a second page. Having a resume longer than 1 page is completely acceptable under these circumstances, and in these instances, you should simply ensure a nice clean break between information from the first page to the second page. In other words, you don't want to have any partial paragraphs or broken sections at the top of page 2. Why it matters. Ensuring you follow these tips matters because they're important to sending a clear, value-based message to the reader. Priority number 1 is value, with the right, clearly legible font at just the right length. By following these tips while crafting your resume, you will give yourself a competitive advantage so you can win the interview. Hey everyone, thanks for listening. For more information on the topics covered in today's episode and many others, please check out the articles on my LinkedIn profile, a link to which can be found in the show notes. If you feel today's episode was helpful, please consider sharing it with a friend and subscribing to the show. Tune in to Resume Ready next time when I'll be discussing all of the critical ingredients, also known as sections, you should include in your resume.